Super. Hi, PyTech Summit 2025. My name Ruslan Karnichuk. I am Ukrainian, and we will talk today about. Oops. And we will talk today about. Oops. Oops. Just one moment. Technical issue. Surprisingly. Just one moment. Just one moment. I need to find my presenter view. Yeah, sorry for this technical issue. First time happened for me. And we will talk today about Python and about football. And now you may ask why this topic. First of all, both Python and football, good for my mental health, maybe for you too. And some time ago, my colleague kindly asked me, imagine you can select domain where to work as IT specialist. And my decision was, it will be great to try to work in sport domain, for example, in football as IT specialist, for example, data engineer. And that's why I start to gluing together football and Python. And also in Google Trends, we can see this year, this summer, we faced absolute popularity of football analysis worldwide. And you may ask why. And answer is super simple. FIFA Club World Cup 2025 in United States. So now in United States, it's not only American football, but also other football, like soccer. All presentations about sport analytics should include slides about StatsBomb, SportBanks, and Understand. And I have the same. But also I prepared some extras for you. I will share learning materials and some closing slides, for example, a link to my pitch deck or link to repository repo, GitHub repo with all source code Jupyter notebooks for you. And let's start with slides because we will have a lot of Python code now to check. And it's much simpler if you can open on your mobile phone or your laptop slides and check source code and increase, decrease if you need. And I will be focused just on talking to you. And you can use this nice short link, PyTech 25, to download pitch deck, or you can use QR code. And we will start with StatsBomb. Huddle recently acquired StatsBomb. That's why new official name is Huddle StatsBomb. And we will use StatsBomb open data. So in practice, we need to navigate to GitHub public repository and navigate to data folder. And inside data folder, we will find a lot of JSON files. And hierarchy is the next. Competitions, season, matches. And for matches, events, lineups, etc. And competition is, for example, FIFA Club World Cup. And season, it's FIFA Club World Cup 2023 or FIFA Club World Cup 2025. And matches, no surprise, it's, for example, PSG against Chelsea, final match in Club World Cup 2025 this summer. And surprisingly, events, it's not about matches like football events, it's about actions during the match. Yellow card, red card, substitution, corner, etc. So some misleading naming events for today, it's actions during the match. And one more time, structure, competitions, season, matches, and next for concrete match, it's event, lineups, statistics, etc. So inside this data folder in GitHub Open Data Repository, we will find this JSON files, for example, competition.json. And to be able to work with this data, the easiest way is just click row button here, and we will see our JSON file, for example, competitions.json, and we just need to copy paste this URL, for example, to our Jupyter notebook, but you can use also Colab, Google Colab, for example, or Databricks notebooks. There is no issue. I will use today Jupyter Lab and Jupyter notebooks. These two line in Python, it's just because I want to see all columns and all rows. I don't want to see the 3 dots and only like up to 5 columns. I want to see all data and slide bar to see all this data. And our endpoint link to our JSON file, we can see here. And I will use pandas to create data frames and to operate with data frames. And I will use a request to send API request. In this case, because it's JSON, yep, we will create pandas data frame from JSON. And we can see different competitions, for example, Bundesliga in Germany. And we need to collect competition ID, season ID to find competition, for example, FIFA World Cup. And for FIFA World Cup 2022, competition ID is 43. You should just believe me. And season ID is 006-106. And we will change our endpoint to provide competition ID, provide season ID, and collect our JSON file. And inside JSON file, no surprise, we can see 46 matches in total. For example, between Argentina and Australia, one of these matches. And maybe you remember, I hope, FIFA World Cup 2022 final match between France against Argentina, and Argentina, Messi won this match. Let's check what we have, for example, for Germany national football team. So we just need to filter by Germany, and we will see only 3 matches in total. And you may ask, Ruslan, why only 3 matches? 64 in total, and for Germany only 3. It's because bad results, 3rd place in group, and Germany finish FIFA World Cup 2022 on group stage. No playoffs, no kick-off matches during this event. And now let's check event data. And please remember, events is just actions during the match. Yellow card, red card, substitution, corner, it's all actions during the match. And in this case, we need to collect match ID. For example, for Costa Rica against Germany, match ID is this number. And one more time, change our endpoint to collect our JSON file. And we will see a lot of actions during the match. And StatsBomb names this names this actions as events. And for all matches from StatsBomb's data, we can expect over 3,000 events per match, 3,000 actions, like yellow card, red card, substitution, foul, etc. And you can see just examples here, half start, starting 11 for this match. Let's talk a little bit about event types, and no surprise, you can expect most popular event, most popular action during football match is pass. Yes, of course. And here we can see events in total. First one, most popular is pass, next ball receipt. Also, we can filter easily for Germany, and we can see why probably Germany won in this match, because statistics for Germany looks much better. Number of pass, ball received, carry, pressure, ball recovery, etc. Let's move forward and check exactly what we have in these passes, actions during the match. And let's filter, for example, not filter, but sort most frequent passing combination between players of Germany national football team. And there is no surprise from Kimmich to Schule, from Schule to Kimmich, or from Schule to Rüdiger. And also in the same data, we can see location, ball location, start point and end point. And now let's talk a little bit about football field, football pitch, to understand how we can use this data. And now a question to you, if you have now access to chat, please put officially recommended size of football pitch, of football field. And in our region, it's recommended by UEFA association. And I will just wait a moment and say you correct result. So correct answer it's 105 by 68. 105 by 68 meters. But please remember, football clubs like Liverpool, Chelsea, Everton, Napoli don't have standard officially recommended size of the pitch. So all these clubs using wider pitch. And why? Because we can much easier find gaps between the lines, and also we can use our strong wings to have advantages, benefits during the football match. However, for StatsBomb, all pitches for all matches the same. It's 120 meters by 80 meters. So officially recommended, and in Poland we can find a lot of stadiums with this size of pitch. It's 105, but in StatsBomb it's 120 by 68, but StatsBomb by 80 meters. So please remember, because sometimes you can see some anomaly, how fast players run or how fast we deliver ball with pass from start point to end point. And all these nice graphics we can find in documentation, in PDF files stored in open data GitHub public repository. Let's check team formation. And it's again events data like actions during the match. And surprisingly, for this concrete match, Germany against Costa Rica, we cannot find starting 11. ID for this event is 35. You can see false. However, we can check tactical shift event, and ID for this event 36. And inside, we will see that Germany national team has changed formation 2 times, from 4-4-2 to 3-5-2, and finally to 3-4-3. And you can see cost summary here, total it's 10. There is no goalkeeper in this tactical shift, because sometimes on another side we can see tactical formation like 1-4-4-2. So 1 is goalkeeper, 4 defenders, and 2 attackers close to our opponent. In this case, it's 10. There is no goalkeeper. And we can go deeper with team formation, and we can use explode pandas method to see nested JSON. Like we want to unnest this JSON to see in our data frame. And we will find then, for example, the starting 11 and schema formation 4-4-2. First player, it's goalkeeper, position 1, and jersey number, like T-shirt number, it's also 1. But for another players, you can see differences between jersey number and position ID. That's why you may ask, what exactly does it mean, position ID in StatsBomb data? And me personally, I was extremely surprised. Then in football, we have complete list of 25 positions of football players. So there is no coaches, for example, only players. First one, no surprise, is goalkeeper, and 25th is secondary striker. And to be honest, I want to see absolutely the same complete list of positions for IT domain. Like, just imagine, number 1, DevOps engineer, number 2, software engineer, and no more this new LLM, junior, suite, middle, rare, vibe, code, developer positions. Only well-structured, complete list of IT specialists. But move back to football and move back in a moment to American football, because I believe all this football analytics and sport analytics started in past in baseball. And baseball, as you know, it's just copy paste of cricket, some from cricket to baseball. And American football, it's like copy paste from rugby to American football. And because it started in United States with baseball, next migrated to American football, still we can see some state-of-art ideas, techniques, approaches in American football first, and only next we can expect the same in our football, in soccer. So in this case, I can recommend to check Huddle IQ product from Huddle company, because we can check football players tracking during the match. And in practice, we can track every player's position 30 times per second. And you may ask, why this magic number, 30 times per second? I will appreciate you can put to the chat your ideas. And answer is simple, because we want to analyze video. So 30 times per second using the video, because it's just frame rate, 30 frames per second. And we can expect soon the same from all data providers for soccer, for our football. Now let's jump to sport monks data. And in this case, we need to create subscription first. And no worries, we will use free subscription today to play with data. Surprisingly, you can see 4 leagues, and we will talk in a moment about this 4 leagues for football free plan. And from website, from the SaaS product, we just need to collect API token to use. So in this case, we will work with API, not JSON files, source files directly. And for standard free plan, you can see we can check events like actions during the match, live scores, match statistics, lineups, but we cannot expect, for example, ball coordinates. It's only for advanced plan. And my personal point of view, Sport Monks API structure, it's much more complicated compared to previous one we checked today, Huddle stats bomb structure of data. We can see statistics here, but also statistics here. We can see events, lineups, and we will talk today and check in details why it's a little bit more complicated and misleading comparing to Huddle stats bomb open data, for example. So I mentioned we can expect 4 leagues, but in practice, it's only 2 countries. So we have free data for Denmark in Scotland. And why 4 leagues? Because in both countries, we can expect data from 2 leagues. And in practice, in all countries, we can expect different tiers. Like in UK, we have first tier Premier League, and second tier, please put your answer to the chat. Second tier in UK, it's Championship. And in Poland, for example, we have Ekstraklasa, first tier, and we have Pierwsza Liga, League First, as second tier in Poland. And the same we can expect for Denmark and Scotland. And let's check what we can do with this data. Yes, of course, we need to use our API token. Please remember to collect from SportMonk's website. And still, we are using free plan. So no credit card, complicated registration, etc. And we can collect matches. SportMonks names these matches as fixtures. So we just need to remember fixtures is are matches. Fixtures are matches. And we can collect by date. For example, for 24th of April 2025, we can see the following matches during this day. And we can do the same by date range, but we need to remember max date range, it's 100 days. And if we can expect a lot of matches during this time, we need to remember about pagination. And in practice, we just need to check pagination has more value. And if my value true, we can expect more data. And when finally false, it means no data. We collected all data via API from SportMonks server. And also, finally, we need to find concrete match, concrete fixture by ID. Absolutely the same idea with Huddle stats bomb. For example, for Aberdeen against Ross Country, ID you can see here. And by default, we cannot see too much data, surprisingly, for this concrete match, football match. And the reason is include request parameter. Because I'm using request Python library, we need to provide not only API token, but also provide include request parameter. So in practice, we want to enrich our response with include request parameter. And we can put statistics.type, events, formations, timeline, lineups.details.type to see much more data. So let's just compare this slide and this slide, and you can see more data we can analyze, and some data we can expose to see all data in our pandas data frame. So in statistics, here we can find, for example, yellow card, corners. So it's whole statistic for one concrete football match. A little bit more about include options. It's a lot of include options. In our code, we select only a few of them. So in case you cannot find some data related to football match from SportMonks data, please check whole list of include options. And today we will talk about lineups, about events, statistics. Yep, we will cover only few of include options, but we have much more. And first one is events. Please remember events, it's like actions during the match. And for this match, like Aberdeen against Ross Country, we can see following events. For example, substitution, yellow card, or goal. Move forward and check timeline. So in this case, we need to change our include parameter and add include timeline. and we will see more data. And surprisingly, yep, here we can see corner, but it's not number of corners during the match. It's timeline. So concrete time when we face during the match corner, for example. So goals, substitutions, yellow cards, it's in events data, but corner in timeline data. And that's why I'm talking about some misleading information and a little bit complicated structure. Because personally, for me, I cannot see difference between goal, substitution, yellow card, and corner, for example. But we need to remember to find corner, we need to use include timeline, but to be able to find substitution, yellow card, red card, we need to use include events. And in Sportmax also we can find formation. So in this case, we will use include formation, and we can see formation of away team like guest and home team. In this case, it's Aberdeen Football Club. And again, information we can see in total summary 10. It means again no goalkeeper. So we have 4 defenders and 1 striker closer to our opponent. Next include parameter, it's lineups. And in this case, we need to include lineups dot details dot type. And we will see our basic information. And next we can jump to details. So in practice, again, we need to use explode pandas parameter to see nested data in the same data frame. And we can find statistics per player, for example, for James Brown, total duels or duel won, statistics per player during concrete football match. And last one, classic traditional data provider, it's Understat. But for Understat, according to my understanding, we still need to use web scraping. In my recommendation, for example, to use Python Requestium library. Requestium mean Python requests, and Selenium Requestium, name of the library. And please put to the chat if you're still using Requestium library for web scraping, but also we can use Beautiful Soap library, for example, Scrapy, a lot of packages in Python. So for Understat, we need to use web scraping technique, and it's out of scope for today. And I have promised you more data sources, all libraries, all materials, and we need to start with MPL Soccer. And me personally, I spent a lot of time playing not only with data, but with visualization of the data. We all want to just draw this field, football pitch, and map players or the heat map. Yep, create a heat map for football players. And it's really time consuming. That's why we can use dedicated libraries like MPL Soccer for plotting soccer football charts in Matplotlib. Surprisingly, it's not Plotly, Dash Plotly or Seaborn. It's Matplotlib library and loading StatsBomb open data. So we started our session today with Huddle StatsBomb and open data. We can use this data, MLP Soccer library, to nicely draw pitches, football positions, ball positions, events, actions during the match, etc. And hope you're familiar with Sports Reference Company. It's super huge company providing data information about multiple sports, not only about football. But for football, we need to find FBRF website to collect more data and to enrich our data analytics. And last one extra for today, it's dev-friendly football API, because we are on PyTech Summit today, and we can expect some level of familiarity with programming. We can use API again. So with StatsBomb, Huddle StatsBombs, today we use JSON files, and we just work with these JSON files. For StatsBomb, we use API. And if you're interested in API, another one alternative, it's football-data.org, the friendly football API. And a little bit more learning materials for today. No surprise at all. First one recommended, it's Ted Lasso series. And if you never started to watch this series, my recommendation to watch season 1, first season, skip second season, and watch directly third season. And this summer, during FIFA World Cup 2026, this summer, next summer, 2026, we can expect new season of Ted Lasso series. And especially in third season, episode 7, we can find like in 7 minutes during this episode all information about gegenpressing, offensive play, compactness, what does it mean to be adaptable vertically. So if you're interested in super quick amount of time to understand, my recommendation start with this episode 7, season 3. And if you prefer to spend the same amount of time, 7 minutes, but for reading, my recommendation start with how to get started in football analytics from Huddle StatsBomb company. More advanced material is how to learn sport analytics for beginners, step-by-step guide. And I will share my slides one more time with you. So we will just navigate, click, and navigate to this article. You don't need to take screenshots. And if you're interested in more formal foundational materials, I can recommend from Sport Performance Analytics Specialization, only first course, Foundation of Sports Analytics. And in this case, unfortunately, we need to purchase subscription, because we cannot buy one concrete course, because it's part of specialization. But please remember, if you're students or facing any issues with finance now, you can just request free access. They name it 8 help to request specialization and first course about foundation of sports analytics. And a little bit more closing slides for today. I need to share with you source code. In my GitHub public repository, you will find SportMonks folder and StartBombs folder. And inside, you will find around 20 Jupyter notebooks to start your journey with open data, football data, to analyze football match statistics, football player statistic during the match, main actions like yellow card, red card, goal, substitution. A lot of materials as starting point. If you want to contact me after the conference, after our Q&A session, you will use this slide, and you can find my LinkedIn, Facebook, GitHub, and no worries, hire me, it just mean mail me. So it just will send email to me. And believe me, I'm decreased a lot number of spam emails by changing title from mail me to hire me. And because I'm Ukrainian, I should kindly ask you to consider possibility to support Ukraine during this hard time. and most trusted mature organization in Ukraine. It's Come Back Alive Foundation, and you can support Ukrainian army directly because Ukrainian business supporting foundation fund, for example, salaries for employers. But we can support army, Ukrainian army directly. And one more time, slides, you can use QR code to download my PDEC or this short link, tinyurl.com/PyTech uppercase 25, because we are on PyTech Summit today. And now let's move to Q&A session. I just need to find, yeah, I can see now first question. Have you noticed situation when the data showed something different comparing to traditional visual analysis of the options of coaches? Yeah, absolutely. It's normal situation. I will be super surprised if in some data set I will not find any issues, mistakes, typos, etc. Because remember, for Huddle stat bombs, for each event, like football match, sorry, not event, we can expect more than 3,000 events, like actions. And in practice, we can see different approaches, how this company is trying to collect and provide this data. And first approach is using machine learning to automatically, based on video, to create this data. Another approach is to use real humans and to map events, actions during the match manually and provide this data. And with both approaches, we can expect by default mistakes. And some mistakes, it's like feature, it's not a bug. So please, for example, remember about pitch size, field size. In Huddle StatsBomb, we have one size for all football matches. And you just need to remember where match played. So if it's, for example, Liverpool, Chelsea, Napoli, you can expect a huge difference in data because real pitch was different, not a standard one for StatBomb. Yeah, and probably we can move next to question. I can see second question. What proportion of an analytics work involves data collection versus data interpretation and visualization? I believe we have still different teams, and I can recommend talk from Polish guy from Tottenham Football Club who presented recently on Narodowy National Stadium about data sport analytics in Tottenham. And this guy mentioned that huge clubs like Tottenham now creating in-house IT departments. And some people in these departments, it's IT specialist only, for example, data engineer. And data engineer responsible to collect all this data from multiple providers. And it's like around at least 10 different data providers to collect data, to clean up, parse all this data, validate, and store in nice usable format. So it's traditional IT specialty, data engineer, for example. Next, we have separate group, visual analyst, who are working with video and collecting some insights and also creating materials for coach and coach team and for players. So players can see video with some enrichment like text, arrows, highlights to understand how to improve and perform better. And the same for coach team. But also you can find in football clubs football analyst, like more traditional role. And this people don't provide video materials. They just analyze, for example, previous games and help improve decision-making process for the coach. And yep, and this more IT department, like data engineers, they also work with more IT data visualization engineers. For example, to collect data and statistics about performance, and in this case, to use Power BI or Tableau. So it's not football analyst directly; it's data visualization specialist. I hope, yep, I tried to answer this one. Let's move to next one. What biggest challenge when working with data from different sources such as Huddle, StatsBomb, Sportmonks? So StatBombs and Huddle, it's the same. Now Huddle acquired StatBomb. Also, we have Sportmonks under Stat, dev-friendly API. Some teams also may use Transfermarkt or even use Catapulta GPS tracking data. And I believe the biggest challenge in this domain is now with these GPS trackers, because idea looks great. Let's imagine two scenarios. First one, like in UK, when English Premier League install, set up multiple cameras, the same setup in all football stadiums in UK, in English Premier League, to be able to record football matches and to share video recordings with football team. So Tottenham, when playing home and away, can see plus minus the same video because camera setup the same on both stadium. And next can use machine learning or humans to label this data. So it's first approach, and based on the video, we can see football position and player position. And another idea, let's use Catapulta trackers and collect GPS data about football position. Second approach looks great. We can expect much better and more correct data in theory. But in practice, not in all countries you can use those GPS trackers during the match. So Tottenham, for example, using GPS tracking during exercises, preparation to the match, but not during the football match. And another problem is GPS problem. I hope you also faced recently, course of war in our region, and some security forces also playing a lot with GPS data. So in practice, in this data, you can see like some football players playing outside of football pitch because we just have GPS issue this time. So maybe in the future we can see next iteration, for example, with this low level Bluetooth or something like that, to be able to better position football players and ball during the match. But as of now, a lot of promises was made for GPS tracking data like Catapulta, but in practice, it's hard to work and analyze because a lot of mistakes, issues in this data caused just technology, GPS tracking technology. Many thanks for this question. Let's check, do we have more for today? Looks like no, but please remember, I have shared my pitch deck. If you want to ask more questions, you can just navigate to pitch deck and contact me via email, LinkedIn, Facebook, GitLab, etc. That's all from my side for today. Many thanks for your time during the event, and see you, I hope, next year during PyTech Summit 2026 online. And surprisingly, we can see one more question. I'm not sure I will able to answer now, but let's try. What has football analytics changed recently in football in the style of play of the best teams? I believe started to collect more approaches from American football. It's first one, and main event happened. It's Club World Cup 2025 in US, and maybe you noticed FIFA tested a lot of ideas. For example, referee body camera, and we can see now the same approach in another competitions. I believe even in Polish Ekstraklasa, we can see this tests, and some football club testing extremely interesting approach. Maybe you noticed in matches of PSG football club when team trying to start football match in corner of opponent. So just kick ball to corner of opposite team and next start pressure from this position. So for me, it looks super interesting one. And also this trend in big football clubs to create in-house IT team, it's also super interesting for me. And we have even one more question. Let's jump to this one. Does anyone tracks ball movement in 3D? Probably yes, but I don't know this data provider. And looks like we just need to create set up much more cameras on stadium to be able to properly do it in 3D. However, in this VAR referee video assistant, just one moment, when they are drawing these lines and position of footballs, you can see it's 3D data. So probably by design, number of cameras we have, for example, English Premier League, should be enough to do it in 3D. But also we need to understand why we want to do something like this, because it's time consuming and we need much more compute resources to do. And one more question we have. A company which were tracking ball on golf field. Yeah, it's not exactly a question, it's more feedback comment to previous one question. So some company who are tracking ball during golf match using 3D visualization with Skia and Xamarin. Yeah, so one more time, many thanks for your time. Not only during my session, but for whole day during PyTech Summit 2025. See you next year online, PyTech Summit 2026. Have a nice evening. Bye.